Hey, everyone. Joe DiFrancesco here, Self Coaching Masters. And once again, we're going to bring to you a short live, and I would like to speak to you today about emotions. I recently lost my eldest brother, who pretty much raised me after my parents died. He really isn't even my brother. He's my cousin, but because my parents died when I was so young, I moved in with my cousins and my aunt, and they became my family. I think I told that story in another session, but anyway, I was at a business meeting today. Oh, by the way, I'm in my wife's loft in our New Jersey home. I had to fly from Florida to New Jersey. And excuse the background noises because you may hear my dogs or somebody outside. I have no idea. So just kind of try not to pay attention to that. I apologize for that. Anyway, someone said to me today in a meeting, gee, I thought you'd be distraught, emotionally upset, a lot of grief and all of that. And I am all that. I am upset. I am at a loss for my brother. I am feeling it. I am sad. But there's one thing I've learned how to do, and I guess from whatever age, and I've developed it and cultivated it through some of the techniques learned in self-coaching. So in our Facebook group, I present a lot of topics and put in a lot of posts, and hopefully we'll get some more feedback. But I wanted to talk about emotions today because emotions are at the heart of your outcome. The emotions benefit you or can hinder you. And the more you find a purpose and have the ability to regulate your emotions, I'm not going to say control, but regulate your emotions and be able to maneuver them where you want to and when you want to, you'll get a different desired outcome. And that has been integral in my personal life and my professional life. There's a balance in life, and you need to balance your emotions as well. And so while you may be feeling one way on the inside, you don't have to outwardly express that emotion all the time, even though you're feeling it, because it may not benefit you in the real world. That's not to say to bottle your emotions up. It's just not to say don't over exaggerate them. You can feel a sense of loss or grief, as I do, but doesn't mean I don't have to revel in the fact that I am grateful that I had my brother, and I'm smiling because I am in memory now of my brother as I'm talking to you about all the good things, none of the negative things. And this is what I mean by regulating your emotions. And this is a skill set that you can obviously learn, and there are some techniques to learning that skill set. But I think it is very instrumental for people to be able to control their emotions, to not have any outbursts, to be able to think and focus on how they're truly feeling, maybe that gut feeling or that intuition. And this is how I get through a loss of someone I love, a family member, a pet, even someone I don't know. If I have a heartfelt emotional attachment to them because of the type of loss they have or what they gave up for that loss, a fireman, a policeman, or anyone in service of anyone else, I have an emotional feeling for that, but I don't let it interfere with me being driven to what it is I need to do. You see, the more emotional impact you apply to something, the more the outcome expresses itself. I'll say it again. The more emotional you make something, the more it affects your outcome, because you're driven by that power of the emotion. So if your emotion is negative, the end result is going to be negative. And if your emotion is positive, the end result is going to be positive. We are driven by our emotions, our feelings. It's how our brain reacts. It's how our physical body takes it in and expresses it out. So if we're emotionally extremely sad or grief-ridden or stricken, our body is going to feel it. It's going to continue a cycle. If we are happy and joyous and we allow some laughter to come into our life, even in moments of grief, you will find that those moments of grief will be lessened. It doesn't mean that you've lost respect for the fact that there's loss of life or you're not grieving. It just means you're not giving it the emotional impact that it may deserve. Okay. And this is why when I went to the meeting today and I was laughing and I told a joke, someone said, gee, why are you so happy? And it's not that I'm not sad, and it's not that I'm not grieving, and it's not that I don't miss my brother, but it is part of life, and I'm accepting of that. And so I'm not willing to give it all my emotion for something that I can't change. It doesn't make his loss any less of an importance to me by applying so much emotion that I can't function in my life. And these are just tools and techniques that I've used on myself, for myself. And I have some clients that have taken this into their portfolio, if you will, and they've learned how to self-coach themselves and regulate their emotions in the same way. So I just wanted to bring this to your awareness, and part of it was because I really didn't do a live last week. I did a taped live taped in front of a live audience kind of a thing, and that was last week's. And you could go back to that one. I think it was actually about gratitude, or maybe it was a prior one. I'm not quite sure. So I am grieving but grateful that I had my brother in my life, and there's a skill set for that, and you can utilize it to help you and maintain you, to keep your level of emotion in a certain resolve, so that your emotion has a purpose. You have to have a purpose in life. And like life, which requires a balance, your emotions require a balance as well. If you're too much out of balance on one side or another, you're like a boat with all the weight on one side. And if you go to that side where all the weight is, you're going to fall in the water. And if you don't know how to swim, you're in trouble. And even if you do know how to swim, you're still in the water. But if the boat is balanced on equal sides and there's equal weight, and you're able to move one weighted side to another, and you can balance your boat out, you can also balance your life. It just makes your day, your month, your week, your year, and your whole life a lot better and have more purpose to it if you can regulate your emotions. So that is our topic for today. I hope you guys make some comments below, denote some comments, ask some questions, message me, whatever you care to do in the group. But I hope you appreciate the time, and I hope you appreciate this little tidbit on emotions. I'll see you in the group. Thank you much.